Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to the In Fact Blessing the Airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and with energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
The biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
Sports fans from near and far. It's the Dream in the House. I'm here with my boy, the Mad Hatter. Today is Thursday, 2/2 of 2017. We are on the cusp of the Super Bowl, and yes, this is the biggest show in the world.
Yes, sir. Dream, welcome back to the program.
No doubt. You too.
It's been a little bit of a minute, guys, and, this weekend I was out in San Antonio, Texas, watching the Royal Rumble with my son, and you know what? Had a hell of a good time. We had a little boys' weekend, Dream, and I got to tell you, the city of San Antonio is very, very nice. I was very happy out there.
Texas is dope.
Yeah.
Period.
It is. Well, I've been to Dallas before.
Yes.
I liked San Antonio a lot better. And, I mean, they have like...
I'm sorry to Dallas. I'm sorry to Dallas. I forgot Dallas is in Texas. My bad.
How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? Guys, we're going to keep murdering you on the Cowboys. It's just going to keep happening.
Forgot Texas. Forgot Dallas was in Texas. It's like a lot of people forget that Egypt is in Africa.
Exactly. So, you know what? We had a good time. And, the river walk is beautiful. There's a lot of bars and restaurants up and down the little river there. Some really nice restaurants. And we had seats that were right on top of the ramp where the wrestlers came out 4 rows back. It was, Lesnar was literally 3 feet away from us. It was so sick, dude. So I posted some photos up on the internet and stuff like that, and we just had a really good time, dude.
No doubt. You didn't send your boy nothing. You didn't give me nothing while you was going.
You know what it is that
me up with no Texas. I didn't get no pics. I got treated like we don't even know. Matter of fact, I felt like it was a reunion this morning.
Well, you know what it is I don't get what it is as far as the internet service in these arenas.
Okay,
but it's horrible. You
yeah.
can't even post. You can't. I was trying to text my bride back and forth, and texts were going through, but photos couldn't. And
there is crazy. Probably 100,000 people there trying to use their internet.
52,000 people in there.
Yeah, okay. So I would imagine internet will be a tad bit dusty.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what, Dream? Next time I go, I'm definitely... I want to do front row. I've never done front row before, and trust me, these tickets were not cheap. But I'm going to do front row. I didn't know that
you went. Now, this is news to me. It's maybe news to the audience as well. I did not know that you went dolo.
Yeah, me and my son.
You should have. I didn't need to go to I would have went out there with you. I wouldn't have went to the event.
Kid, you would have had a ball out there.
No, so I didn't know. I thought you were going with your bride the whole time.
No, it was just me and my kid. I'm taking my bride on the cruise in April.
You just messed up a beautiful.
Yeah, man.
You got things to talk about and not just sports. In the meantime and in between time in the world of sports, there is a lot going on, you guys. As far as Super Bowl is almost upon us, there's a lot of scrambling, a lot of things going on. I guess the offensive coordinator left his playbook somewhere.
Oh,
Have you heard about that story?
No. Offensive coordinator for who?
The Falcons, of course.
Oh, of course, yeah. Here we go already.
Because no one on the Patriots would do anything.
Not at all, brother.
You have to even ask which offensive coordinator left their playbook. If you hear anything got botched, you will not usher one question into the New England Patriots, starting with Tom Brady's refusal to comment on his Donald Trump point of view.
I did see that.
Yeah.
And I did see that, Robert Kraft does have, some nice things to say about Mr. Trump. And, the reason why, I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but Donald Trump actually called Kraft, I guess after his wife died or something like that, for a whole year every week. they have a really good friendship. So obviously he's not going to backpedal on, anything as far as his boy is concerned. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. I'm not at all embroiled in Trump and Kraft's personal whatever. That's cool. Behind the scenes, that's great. Donald Trump. Now, if you're not up on this, okay,
I'm up on everything.
I get a lot of feedback after we do our Trump talk. By the way, I get tons of feedback in the DMs after it from members of the nation. Some for you and some against you. And,
yep.
The only thing I want to know is if you're up on the topic, because I don't want to get into it if you're not up on it. But you know that Trump has signed some executive orders in regards to abroad.
Yes.
But are you aware of it? Do you know what's going on with it?
I'm fully aware of it. I'm fully aware of the 120-day ban. What's that?
Your views.
My views are as follows. Now, I'm 100% on the side of keeping the country safe. I'm 100% on the side of screening who comes into this country. Because you know what? At the end of the day, I don't know about you, but when I'm flying, when I'm on the road, when I'm doing stuff, I'm always looking over my shoulder for something suspicious. I am. I just have this phobia now because of all the stuff.
I'm more suspicious of getting pulled over by the police. All
right, but I do, okay? So I understand, as far as vetting people is concerned, to make sure, and what people don't understand is that these 7 countries that he put in this order were originated from the Obama administration. This is where it came from, so nobody understands that. But these are the 7 countries where listen. Don't discredit people's understanding. People do understand it. Okay, so, but you know what? I don't know, Dream. I think people have selective hearing with this. Okay, and listen, you guys know I'm pro-Trump, but I do have one challenge with this whole thing. I do. Yes. So I'm not gonna. Listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not just completely one-sided here.
Okay.
I do watch all the news outlets. I do watch neutral news. I watch Fox. I watch CNN. I watch the whole package. So what I'm going to say is this. Now, I'm with it 100%. We have to obviously control the borders. We got to know who's coming in and out. We got to make sure that they're not tied to any kind of terrorist organizations whatsoever. We have to do it. Because at the end of the day, guys, you know what? When a family member, a friend, somebody that gets affected by terrorism in this country, I guarantee you, and I swear to God, I pray that never happens to anybody that around the world. I hope this country never has a terrorist attack again. But when that does happen, it makes people change their views a little bit. Now, my feeling is this. I think they jumped a little too quick with this.
Okay.
I do understand not giving any notice, because if you give them a week notice, then everybody's going to try to flood the country. I get it.
Okay.
The one challenge I have with it is the people that have permanent resident green cards that have lived in this country for X amount of years, that basically thought that they had nothing to worry about, who went overseas and couldn't come back. That's the problem. I have that problem because you know what? There's a lot of people that have businesses here. Or they have family here. They have everyday lives where they thought that they were good. And so now they got away. And they're not banned forever. It's just a temporary thing so they can kind of sort this thing out so the country's not in turmoil when these people come over. So that's the one challenge I have. Like if for instance, I'm Polish and Lithuanian. Let's say I had a green card and I thought I was good. Now, and then I couldn't come back. I'd be upset. I really would. So I understand it. But on the flip side of that, there is such a thing. Once you have that, you can go a step further and be what's called naturalized. When you're naturalized, you can be a foreigner and be naturalized, and that ban doesn't affect you. So there's one step further that you could have did to make sure that you were good. I just think the permanent resident green card people should have been allowed to come back in. Now, I'm sure they're going to adjust that and let them come in. But for the most part, right now, they're basically their American lives are on hold, which I don't like that.
I think it's a little bit on the ridiculous side. First of all, my views on this somewhat reminds me of And guys, we are talking about politics because personally, I've gotten a ton of feedback that a lot of the audience does like when we talk about politics.
Right.
And unfortunately, this is a serious issue on what's going on in our country, along with sports, and we cover a little bit of everything, so that's why we're going into this. My issue with this is it reminds me of the gun laws, so to say, okay? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to talk about it in this respect. And I'm not pro or against the gun laws. I don't want to get into my opinion on that, but this is all I'm going to say. As far as I'm concerned, the gun laws do not hamper criminals from getting guns, okay? They hamper the law-abiding citizen from getting guns. That doesn't mean a law-abiding citizen needs guns, but I'm just saying the gun laws don't hamper the criminals for getting guns. Trump in his little border stoppage, as far as I'm concerned, and this is my personal opinion, the terrorists that want to enter this country and try to do damage, you're not stopping them with this.
I disagree.
Okay? Well, it's just like, well, then stop illegal drugs from coming in. The government and the law enforcement community, and I've been a member of the community.
Yep.
All right, you do not stop the stuff that's against the law. You're not stopping the criminals from doing, because they're just finding ways to circumvent it. There's too many corrupt people in our law enforcement process. I don't know if you've seen INS and how that quite works, but the bottom line is the people who want to get in this country, the people who have some thoughts of maybe doing damage in this country, they're going to find a way to get in here. That's stopping, what Trump did is stopping the people with no money, the poor, and maybe you don't want them in the country either. I don't know that, but I'm just saying, if somebody really wants to do damage to this country, in my opinion, those organizations are so well financed. There's so much behind them. They will find a way to get in this country if that's the fact that they want to do.
Okay, well, you know what? And as far as the border wall and this whole package is concerned, there was a woman, I believe her name was Nancy Pelosi or something like that. She's a Democrat. And
yes.
They were on CNN. They were doing this thing, where they were asking her questions about, if they're going to be pro or against Trump, and his orders and stuff like that. And there were some people, Dream, I don't know if you realize this, that live near the borders of Mexico and Texas and like the neighboring countries where they live in fear. They have gang members that come up to their doors. A guy said his dogs were playing what looked like a ball. It was a human skull because kids are left behind and females are left behind and females are raped at the border. And I mean, it's a mess. And you know what? And that, I mean, we need more help at that. We do. I mean, you hear the stories of them, and this is on CNN. I'm surprised CNN didn't black it out, to be honest with you. But they were talking about it, man. It was like, wow, I never realized that. I mean, this guy's on a farm ranch, and he's got to worry about gang members, attacking his wife and stuff. It's kind of crazy. But anyway,
but he chooses to stay.
He chooses to stay, man. But he's looking forward to a wall.
If somebody comes in the crib right now trying to do some type of attacks.
Yeah, I know.
All right?
I get it.
So one of us got to go.
Yeah, it wasn't
That's
even.
how that ends.
I mean, the guy was breaking, on the
Why
phone.
don't they put some hood? Or you know what they should do? Just set up some low-income housing, some Section 8, Section 8 setups right where the wall's at. I guarantee you there'll be minimal back and forth on the wall.
Good idea. One thing I do have a problem with, Dream. One thing I do have a problem with is the liberals, the Democrats, everybody that's trying to further their own agenda by opposing Trump. I think it's BS, man. And you know what, too? I got news for you guys. Listen, you know what? At the end of the day, things are going to go the way things are going to go, period, okay? If you want to go and, go on strike at your job, I don't know if you've heard this, that people do this. You want to go on strike on your job, where your boss pays your bills and puts food on your, helps you put food on your table by giving you a job. You want to go on strike? Guess what? Any of my workers go on strike, Dream, I'm replacing them the next day. So you know what, guys?
That's you. But in other companies, you can't. And not only that, they're going to be stuck paying unemployment, which will absolutely cripple. If you had, could you listen? The repercussions of that are kind of heavy when you think about it, because if these people decide that they want to be unemployed and then go and apply for unemployment wages, it will put a little dent in the economy. And hello, Donald Trump will have to wake up a little bit. So, listen, I haven't figured out where I'm at yet with him. I mean, I personally, I'm attempting to give him an opportunity. Yep. Out the gate, I already kind of don't like what he's already started. But, dude, the one thing I have got to say, I am now no longer really upset with the public about the attacks on Obama. The attacks on Trump are like 1,000 times worse than the attacks on Obama were. So I now am like, hey, I'm good.
Yeah, he'll never do anything right in most people's eyes.
I'm good.
He'll never do anything right. I mean, yeah. So anyway.
That being said, it's time to talk some sports. We got sports going on. Some things went down in the world of sports. First of all, we have a new college basketball ranking. I don't know if you noticed, but Gonzaga is number 1 in college basketball.
Because they ain't losing, brother.
Dude. They also aren't playing.
Is that like Western Michigan being number 1 in collegiate football?
Oh my gosh, this is come on. Look. I'll give it to Gonzaga. They played some good basketball. They're undefeated. Yeah, I hear you. But come on, the schedule, man. Stop.
But still, Dream. I mean, they went very far in the tournament last year. That's number 1. Number 2 is that you got to remember something. They played a lot of games, and you know what? They've been on the road. I don't care how weak the schedule is. You're still undefeated. And I mean, what's the record now? They're 20-0. What's the current
22-0.
record?
22-0. The schedules. Come on, Stop.
All right.
Well, the schedule's just
I don't know, Dream.
Awful.
What'd they get to the Elite 8 last year?
Yeah, but what's last year got to do with it? That's not. I don't care about last year.
I think they got a better team this year than they did last year.
And they very well may have, but you can't, just on their schedule. I mean, beating Pepperdine, they beat Portland twice. Come on, dude.
Well, you know what? Hey, I mean, their remaining schedule. Do they have any big boys they got to play or what?
I'm looking at it right now. I mean, BYU, San Francisco, dude. No, they don't.
They got to play the Dons.
I mean, this is ridiculous, this schedule.
I know. Well, you know what? There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games left. And you know what? I mean, like you said, I mean, at St. Mary's, that's not an easy place to play.
Listen to yourself. You know what?
St. Mizzles is not bad.
Play back the show tonight and listen to you just say as St. Mary's and try to keep it straight.
Dude, St. Mary's only has 1, 2 losses on the year, and they got to go there and try to win.
Hey, you're talking about teams in the ACC that are battling it out every night. North Carolina, Duke, Virginia. I mean, you cannot compare these conferences. It's like comparing the SEC to the Pac-12 almost.
I understand.
I mean, it is.
I don't know. You know what? When they get into the tournament, then we could have that conversation because you know what, Dream? There's a really good chance they will be a number 1 seed.
It's not really good. It's looking like that's what it's really going to be. I mean, I don't see anybody on that schedule knocking them off. In the meantime, as we just discussed, let's just go over the top 10 really quick. We got Gonzaga at 1, Baylor's at 2, Kansas is at 3. I don't really love Baylor at the 2 spot, but I get it, and I can hear the argument for Baylor at 2 because they're 20-1 more than I can hear the argument for Gonzaga at 1 just because they're undefeated. Villanova's 4, Arizona is 5, Louisville is 6, West Virginia is 7, Kentucky's 8, Virginia is 9, and Wisconsin is 10. I struggle with Wisconsin at the 10 spot. I do think UCLA is better than Wisconsin. I also think Notre Dame is better than Wisconsin, and Cincinnati may be better than Wisconsin as well, but we can leave Wisconsin as 10. I don't struggle with that too much. As far as West Virginia is concerned, I would move West Virginia down a couple spots. I could move Kentucky up a couple spots. I don't have a problem with Louisville. I love Arizona, but Arizona probably should be at the 4, if not in the top 3. I think this Arizona team I've talked about them. I think they're very good. And I think they've only gotten better with the addition of their guard. Villanova, a lot of people I've heard on Twitter have gotten back and forth to me about Villanova that they don't think Villanova's that good. And I think that you set the bar last year for Villanova. Sure. And I don't think Villanova is necessarily better than last year's team, but I don't think they're worse either. I just think they're different and they're doing it in different ways. However, with the little bit of roster that is left with the experience from last year, I think that's a big point that you have to keep in mind with this Villanova team. Also, the coaching staff is definitely up to par. Villanova is still a very dangerous team looking at the tournament and looking towards March right now.
Of course. Absolutely. And you know what? Just some future odds I got up here. Kentucky is basically a 5.5 to 1. Kansas is 6.5 to 1. Those are the two. You got Duke at 8.5 to 1, Dream. The Dukies. I told
you Duke's not that good this season.
Yeah,
I talked about that a few times. I told you that Duke is not that good this season.
No, definitely not. And UCLA is 8.5 to 1. Villanova 8.5 to 1. So Duke, UCLA, and Villanova all share the same odds. Arizona 10 to 1. You might want to get some of that, Dream, if you like this team.
Definitely.
Gonzaga 10 to 1. North Carolina 11 to 1. And Baylor 22 to 1. That's some good odds for Baylor, huh?
Yeah, but that Baylor team, I don't.
Super athletic.
I do like believe it or not, North Carolina, as much as I don't like Roy Williams, and I don't think Roy Williams is one of the he's in that, they have him in that league with, Patino, Calipari. I think that, I guess he belongs there, but he's just, to me, doesn't belong though still. Because to me, the years he won with this North Carolina team, he kind of got handed that team. I don't know. It's my opinion. So he just doesn't. I don't see him. Jay Wright, to me, had to reinvent the wheel to get Villanova a national title last year. Okay. I saw solid coaching. I saw a team that had some flaws that he was able to overcome in some solid coaching situations that I just don't see. When I look at Roy Williams and compare the two, I just don't feel – I feel like if I'm going to go with a team and a coach, I'd go with Jay over Roy Williams. That's my opinion.
Really?
Yeah. I've never liked Roy Williams as a coach.
I mean, I guess if you take last year out, you probably have a different position on that. Because, I mean, Jay Wright he just couldn't win the big one until last year.
No, but he always put a great product out with what he had, and they always went deep into the tournament, which I don't think if you take him off of Villanova and you put Roy Williams onto Villanova, I don't think Roy Williams would have that same type of success. And that's what I'm getting at.
Always got the sharpest suits, too.
Oh, his shoes.
He's got it dead right.
Hook.
He's got it dead right,
Suit
exactly.
game is off the hook.
Dream. So what else you got here, man? I got a couple of things on my brain as well.
All right. Well, the first thing, as we talk about the Super Bowl, I'm going to get out of college basketball for a minute. Really quick last night. I don't know if you guys are aware, but you should be. I'm sure UCLA murders Washington State, and UCLA is getting that feeling back. Caught a little bit of a loss, and now they're bouncing back from that. Kansas did beat Baylor last night, which is of note as well as far as college basketball is concerned. This Kansas team, trying to keep an eye on them.
Yep.
At the beginning of the season, it's funny how college basketball works because you kind of go in one direction and you flip-flop a little bit with college hoops.
But like 3 times a year.
3 times a year, exactly. This Kansas team, at the beginning of the season, I didn't like them that much. Now in the middle of the season, I'm starting to feel them a little bit. This win against Baylor, as far as to me last night, was huge. I thought that was huge on their part. I'm not the craziest Bill Self fan either.
No, he's definitely in that category that you're talking about, where he's borderline. He's gonna be at the end of his career. He's probably gonna be in a top 30 coaches, top 20, something like that, 25.
I think it's going to be in top 20. I agree that 100%.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really do it for me. So I'm on the fence with him, and I'm on the fence with this team. But we will have to keep an eye on them moving forward, and based on the schedule, take a look at them and see where their progression is headed to. Last team I want to mention in college basketball, well, there's actually 2 more. First, I did talk about Cincinnati the last time we were on the air. I'm going to talk about them again. This team has an interesting upside. Now, the problem with this team is the conference that they play in, another like Gonzaga, you can get disillusioned with some of their gameplay, but this team does have all the components. I mean, they're big. You know, their big men are good. They're solid down low. They got good guard play. They play well at defense. Transition basketballs. I mean, they've got, to me, the whole package. Still a couple of other questions out there as far as coaching's concerned as well, as far as being in tough game situations, being down by a bunch and coming back. A lot of those things still surround this team, and can they play on the big, in the big court, with the big boys?
Well, you know what? That's the thing. See, the tournament's going to be on the road, and this team is stellar at home.
Yes,
and you know what, Dream? I don't think the American Athletic Conference is all that bad.
It's not, but still, it doesn't. To me, it just doesn't challenge you. Like the ACC and like some of the other
there's no
challenges.
comparison, but you still got SMU, you got Memphis, you got Houston. Even Central Florida's not horrible.
Right.
So you got some teams with some pretty stellar records here, brother.
You do have some teams with some stellar records. I agree with that, but I don't know. It seems like you go crazy about these teams. They hit the tournament and get busted up like
well, we already know. I mean, the biggest upset obviously was the Michigan State debacle last year. That murdered everybody's brackets. I mean, when we did the contest, what was it like? I think like most people had just one team left, like in like the the Final Four or whatever. I mean, it was nuts. There was just no way. I mean, Kansas got knocked out. Sparty got knocked out. I think North Carolina was like the only one left in like most people's brackets.
Yeah, last year some big Michigan State, that was a huge blow. I remember that. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
because I had almost forgot about it when you said it. I was like, I forgot about that.
It was Sparty
right.
And it was dumb Purdue. And
yes.
I told you about dumb Purdue. I did not like them at all. I remember sitting on a meeting and I couldn't watch the game. And
it went further than Michigan State, though.
What, they lost to like Little Rock or something like that. I'm like, here's the Dream talking all year long about how dope Purdue is with all these big white boys and all this other stuff. And they're just monsters. And then Little Rock knocks them off. I love it.
Yeah, but Little Rock. Wait a minute, but that still was around. They made it to the 16. I got to do my homework on that. Purdue made it still to the. They didn't get beat mad early.
I think it was like the second round.
But that Little Rock's the team that beat Michigan State, weren't they?
No. That was somebody else. You know what? I'm gonna pull it up right now.
I'm
gonna pull it up to make everybody cringe. Just so you know, Michigan State lost to Middle Tennessee.
Okay,
and it was Little Rock that knocked off Purdue in the first round. Dream.
Really?
First round.
I remember that being the first round.
First round.
Okay. All right. So
the 12 knocked off the 5.
Stand to be corrected. Last team I want to talk about, Virginia.
Yes.
Defensively, we know about what this team is able to do defensively. They've been a good defensive team over the last few years.
Yeah.
You got to keep an eye on them because you're starting to get some momentum. They're at number 8 now on the ranking, and I've been watching them. They've been slowly, once again, playing well, good defense. The problem with this team, I don't like their perimeter shooting, and I never have.
No, it's not that good.
It's not that good, right? But we've got to take a look at them this season because they are making a little noise. They are having some success. Remember, as I remember correctly, last year they went. They played decent in the tournament as well, with being a defensively sound team. So it is time to probably take a look at them. Let's move over to the NBA for a second. Let's talk about that for a minute, guys. The Knicks still after Kevin Love. The Cavs are not budging.
No.
With the Kevin Love thing. Kevin Love's going nowhere, gang. Okay? LeBron, if anything, wants Carmelo Anthony and doesn't want to let anything go because he wants a super team to compete with Golden State. And I just want to say this about the Golden State thing because people are always remembering today and not tomorrow. And I understand that. Okay? I understand that. I'm going to remind you of something. Last year, the Golden State Warriors broke a record with their regular season record. They broke the Chicago Bulls wins record with their regular season record. They looked like a complete juggernaut going into the playoffs last year. Okay? And then should have got beat by Oklahoma City Thunder as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Okay? And then did get beat by the Cleveland Cavaliers. So before we go crazy, and I know Golden State looks awesome right now, and I'm with you. They're running the ball up and down the court. They're shooting. It's circus time. But we saw the same atmosphere out of Golden State last season.
Right.
When it came to playoff basketball, they slow that game down. You got to play your half-court offense. You got to be able to get some offensive rebounds and defend your boards. And those are still the problem areas of concern for the Golden State Warriors. So before we go out and crown them this year's winners, I would just remember last season. Also, Mr. LeBron James.
Well, before you get to my boy, let me just one final note on the Golden State Warriors, Dream. I was actually at a restaurant on, I want to say it was Saturday night in San Antonio. We were watching the Clippers and Golden State Warriors. Though the Clips are a mess, number one. Number two is Golden State did whatever the hell they wanted. And, I mean, if it's raining threes like that, you're just not beating them, period.
Right.
But go into LeBron, because I got a little funny stuff with this. But what you got?
But LeBron James, to me, and I know you guys hear him crying, and I know you guys are watching the Cleveland Cavaliers play somewhat not good basketball. And guess what? I'm not concerned yet.
No, neither am I.
I'm not concerned. Matter of fact, it'll take a lot before I get concerned, because last year the Cleveland Cavaliers went into the NBA Finals in that East, which to me offers nothing. And to me, the East is dude, the playoffs for the East this year is probably weaker than it was last year.
Yeah, I agree with you.
As far as I'm concerned. So I still don't see the Cleveland Cavaliers being challenged by any teams in the East. Guys, you want to throw the Toronto Raptors at me, please?
I know.
Okay, please. I don't even want to do it with their ugly offense. I just don't. So my thing is, before we keep in mind, the playoffs and playoff basketball are built for the Cleveland Cavaliers and built for LeBron James and your style of play. Yeah, Golden State might can drain them threes all day long, but the minute they go cold, the Cavaliers will capitalize. Long rebounds, the Cavaliers are going to capitalize. This all happened last year. Let's not forget what went down last year. But in the meantime, let's do remember that the Cleveland Cavaliers did not cover the game that you gave out.
I know. They were up. Dream, they're up 27 points on Friday night in the third quarter. And I think, I was given 15. And they let them come right back and did not cover the spread. I think they won the game by 12.
Right.
So pissed.
T-Mac talking about LeBron calling out Charles Barkley. Sir Charles sits at the desk. And I love it because he speaks the truth. I like the way Charles talks because he kind of talks similar to how I talk. He likes to spit out the truth. And I don't mind nothing he says. It gets under these guys' skin. But you know what kills me, though? Behind the scenes, all these guys love Charles Barkley. LeBron is just kind of like a little bit of a big baby with his ego. That's LeBron. What are you going to do?
Yeah, to a certain extent, Dream. But you know what? At some point, if you were LeBron,
yeah,
with your personality, and you heard him continuously like hate on you.
I'm different. I would have hit Barkley right out of the gate.
LeBron has held his composure for like a decade now, listening to this guy just talk, saying he's not going to be remembered as one of the best, and he just wants good players around him to make it easier for himself. And he was a punk when he left the Cleveland Cavs to go to Miami. It was a punk move and stuff like that. Eventually, when you take a man that never won an NBA championship and it just continues.
Whoa.
You never won a championship, Dream.
So? Neither did Dan Marino.
Neither did Dan Marino. Yeah, but Dan Marino doesn't say how bad Super Bowl winning quarterbacks are.
Because Dan Marino's not on the desk at TNT. That's what Charles Barkley's doing now, and I don't blame him for some of his comments. Because if Charles Barkley could have got on a Golden State Warrior team stacked like it is now during his day, he would have won a championship.
Maybe. You're
you
right
couldn't do that back then. And I agree with a lot of Barkley's commentary about today's NBA. Dude, today's NBA compared to the NBA, I know you guys hate when I do this, and I know you guys want to talk about the new stuff and the new guys are better. I don't agree. I'm sorry. Some of the things that are happening right now in the NBA and the way this NBA is set up compared to the NBA when Barkley played, I can't do it with some of these players. I'm sorry. Yeah, the greats will be great. Like LeBron is going to be absolutely phenomenal still. Kevin Durant would probably still be really phenomenal. I'm a little on the borderline with Steph Curry. In Barkley's era of NBA, Steph Curry, I don't know, because first of all, I saw issues with Steph Curry's defense, especially against OKC, and especially when Westbrook was involved. Dude, the guards back in that era, I don't know. I don't know what I would do with Steph Curry. Yeah, if Steph gets that clean look, he's got it. But, dude, the physicality of the game back then, I don't know.
Well, he's not a big player either.
No, that's
Very
it.
small.
He's not a big player. I know.
You know what I mean? So, and I do agree with you to a certain extent. I mean, the guy is going to be remembered for his half-court threes and, his circus shots. And he hit one the other night when I was watching the Clippers game at the end of the half. He was before the half-court mark, and he hit it. Great. And it was like nothing. It was like nothing. But, that's what he's going to be remembered for, Dream. So, but I can't put him in the, in the elite of the elite.
Oh, even Magic Johnson covering Steph Curry. Steph Curry have no points. It'd be dunked on all day.
Put Rodman on him. He'd be fine.
You got to remember, Barkley played with that. He played with Jordan, kid. By the way, nobody was winning the championship versus Jordan. When the Bulls team got dope, it wasn't happening. It just wasn't happening.
Right on. Exactly. So, all right, man. Well, I don't know. I'm on the fence. I'm okay with him calling Barkley out. I'm okay with it.
So talk to me about what you feel about your boy and his little what he just happened with the Sixers.
You know what? Here's the deal. I really feel like Dream, just like you and I know that the East is not competitive. These guys know also. At the end of the day, I mean, think about it. Who cares if they drop? If they go 500 in a 2-week span, who cares? It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you know what? They'll get the rest. They'll put their foot on the gas, and they'll cruise through the East and then play their hearts out in the finals. And that's probably how they feel, which is probably not the best way to feel, to be honest with you, because when you get like that, sometimes a hungrier team can knock you off. So you don't want to play like that.
And sometimes, guys, I think we've seen it a lot. Momentum. Very, very huge.
Yeah.
It's not all that awesome having momentum right now. I mean, looking great right now in basketball. I mean, it's great from a gambling standpoint and great for your psyche right now. But season wears on. I'd rather have my problems and troubles right now and get it all together more towards the end than to start fizzling out at the end. And now I got to go into the playoffs, and I'm struggling with OK Sizzle, and I'm struggling getting out of the West, and then I got to go play Cleveland, who just got it together at the end.
Yeah, I mean, you got half as many games as a baseball season. But how many times have we seen the world champions in baseball go to a 7-game losing streak, an 8-game losing streak? Baseball, yeah, your favorite sport. So, a 7 or 8 game losing streak is equivalent to like a 3 or 4 game losing streak in the NBA. It's the same thing. You're going to see it. Every championship team, every single one. I mean, if you look at it, they went through skids, and it's going to just happen. That's why I'm not a huge fan. It's really, really hard to bet every single day on, sports like baseball and sports like the NBA and stuff like that, because you're not going to get max effort every single time. Football is different. Football is once a week. And I feel like,
football is different, but sometimes I look at the games, I feel like you're not getting max. You see a guy like Jay Cutler, and you're like, damn, I'm not really getting max.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's Cuddles, yeah. It all depends on their situation, too.
Killer Cam, I'm not really, sometimes he gets his little attitude. I'm like, damn, Cam, I thought I was going to get max effort out of you.
I still can't believe they played so bad this year, Dream.
I can.
All right. Well, you called it.
I did call it because I didn't think they were that good. And hey, guess what? I got a new team next year that I think is not going to be as good as they were this year.
Oh, there you go. I have a feeling you're going to a certain place with that. All right.
Cowboy fans is still in hiding, too. They still listen. There was this cat at the gym wore Dallas stuff like every week. I seen him with Dallas gear on, hat, jersey, tank top. shorts, whatever. Everything. Dude, always had on Dallas gear. Then after the loss, money was missing for like a week and a half. This is a guy that I used to see all the time at the gym regularly, okay? All of a sudden, dude's missing. Finally, he shows up, not one piece of Dallas attire on. And you know I walked right up to him and said, "Where's your Dallas gear at, player?" Just like that. He looked at me and he was like, "Oh, no, I still wear it." I'm like, "Well, you don't got it on now?"
Yeah, right. Oh, that's funny, brother. All right.
Speaking of which, our Super Bowl party where we're supposed to be going is being hosted by a Dallas fan. Is he still open?
Yeah, man. He was, yeah. I actually bought him a Dallas Cowboys hat for Christmas. He still wears it, though. He still rocks it. You know?
He got to be devastated because the one day that we went in there, the first thing out of his mouth to me, "Oh, did you see my boys?" And I said, "Yeah, they look pretty good." Pretty good. He almost threw me out of the restaurant because I said the Cowboys look pretty good.
You said they look good. He's like, "Look."
Yeah. He almost threw me out of the restaurant because I said that they look good.
Yeah.
This is why the Dream has went ham on Cowboy fans. He threw me out of his place. This is how adamant he was about it. He must, if I could have just seen his face when they lost that game, he had to be in tears.
Oh, definitely. And you know what, too? His middle son is a very, very, very animated Packers fan, Dream.
Wow.
So you can only imagine how that household was on that day.
Wow.
But, all right, man. So let's get into tonight, Dream. Let's have a conversation.
Okay, really quick. NHL, Avs stink. The Avalanche stink, okay? The Devils stink too, but I now think that I like the Avalanche stinking way more than I like the Devils stinking.
Really?
I do. The Avalanche, dude. Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Awful. They're awful. The Devils have their own issues, but you have to watch their schedule. The Devils have been able to sneak up and catch a few teams, so you have to be careful with their matchups. Once again, with this Shark team, I've sent that Shark out, been crying about them. Every year I seem to be able to find this team in hockey, and this is the team this year. The Sharks are making it happen. Now, we have to watch the Sharks because every year when we get one of these teams, they do go on that little slide. So let's be cognizant of the Sharks and watch out for their slide, as there should be a slide coming, but it's not coming yet, so we'll continue to ride them. Also, Canadians, another team that's very, very sharp, and the Washington Capitals are sharp as well, except the Capitals are a tad bit defensively challenged. So keep that in mind when you're messing with the Capitals. Hockey parlays seem to be at a premium right now. It seems to be working, so that's where we're at.
Okay.
As far as hockey's concerned, you want to get into tonight?
Yes, sir.
All right, here's what we got going on with tonight. We do have the Montreal Canadiens in hockey squaring off again. Hold on one sec. I just want to pull this up for you guys.
Man.
Sorry.
That's all right. It's all right. They're playing at Philly tonight.
They're playing at Philly tonight. Got it. Canadians are playing the Flyers tonight. This Flyers team, a little bit of a mess there internally. I don't like what they do defensively. The Flyers have typically been a physical team. I just don't feel like that's working for them this season. They've had some success, but not a whole plethora of success. Like I said, internally there seems to be some issues there. Canadians are coming off of. They're coming off of. Obviously, everybody had the little break and they had the rest, but they're coming off a bounce back spot as far as I'm concerned. I like the Canadians to win this game. I think the Canadians will beat the Flyers, so I think that's a safe spot for you to
wow,
go
minus
tonight.
110. That's pretty much even money all across the board.
Right, that's pretty much even money. I don't know why it's so low. That might be bothering somebody. Make sure your goalie. Let's wait till game time. Let's make sure the goalies are in there. But I like the Canadians in this spot. I think the Canadians are a far superior team. They should be able to skate all over the Flyers, and offensively, they should be able to have their way. I know the Flyers, to me, I don't like their defense, and I think it plays right into Montreal's hands. I like the Canadians to go in and win this game, and I like it because it's not like the Canadians are excessively tired or worn out from playing hockey. So I like the Canadians tonight.
All right.
My second spot is a bounce back spot. I don't love it. I like it. It's the Blackhawks are playing the Coyotes, and the Blackhawks lost last night to San Jose.
Yes.
Shark Tank gets it done. You know how Sharks do it. They lost to San Jose last night, but I like the Blackhawks to bounce back. This Coyote team is another team. They've struggled. Last 2 years, this team just had some struggling problems. They did get good, decent goalie play in past seasons. This year, it just doesn't seem to be happening for them. Blackhawks got be a little bit hot about losing to the Sharks last night. So let's go with the Blackhawks as my second pick of the evening. I do like the Blackhawks. These are road games, gang. So keep that in mind. These are road games. I do prefer home matchups, but I'm giving you what I like.
All right.
Last but not least, I do like the San Jose Sharks again. They beat the Blackhawks last night, and now they're going to play the Canucks tonight. I do like the Sharks again, but it's my third on the plays. I like Canadians, Blackhawks the most, and then the Sharks will be my last play. If you're going to do a parlay with this, I do like keeping the Sharks separate. I put the Canadians and Blackhawks together and separate the Sharks from it. That's what I would do. What works for you, no, it doesn't work because the time screw it up. Because I was going to say, if you 3-teamed it, you could hedge with the Sharks because the Sharks go late if you get the first two to win. But you won't know with the Blackhawk game because it says here 9.
All right. Sounds good, Dream.
That's where we're at there.
All right, so there's 4 games on the NBA hardwood tonight. And I see one here that's...
I got a 5-star.
What's your 5-star? I can only imagine.
Spurs to beat the Sixers. Get it, y'all.
Money line.
Money line the Spurs.
All right. Well, you could probably money line the first half. But I see a game here that's kind of... the Clippers got really embarrassed in Golden State, Dream.
Yeah, and we'll get embarrassed tonight.
Maybe.
No, they will. They don't have nobody, Cat. No, don't even think about taking the Clippers tonight.
+8?
Nope.
I see a sharp line movement, Dream. It went from 10 to 8.
You don't know what you can't. You don't know what you're going to get out the Clippers.
Yeah, we'll look at the injury report obviously later on.
Too many areas. I mean, there's no Chris Paul. They're too banged up. There's no Blake Griffin. Leave the Clippers alone. My thing right now with Golden State is if you don't bet with Golden State, just don't bet.
Yeah, right, because you'd be really pissed off.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
No sense.
All right, well, thanks for taking me off the ledge on that one. I think
Good.
I'm going to definitely do that, Dream. So,
college basketball. We got Arizona playing tonight. They're giving a lot. We got Oregon playing tonight. They're giving a lot. If you can get these two teams in a teaser and knock probably 8 points off of their spreads, you're going to be safe. I think both teams are going to win. Arizona will probably cover your spread, but I don't like the line. I hate big lines, and I hate worrying about those last-minute backdoor covers that are always possible, especially in college basketball. You give up that last-minute hoop. So keep that in mind if you're getting involved with that. Irvin likes Michigan State, as he's talked about on Twitter. I don't know about Michigan State, especially on the road. This Michigan State team, they're a young team. Certain spots, they have not shown up this season. Not saying that's going to happen tonight, but I don't love this team, so I'm not messing with them.
all right. Sounds good, my man.
But Nebraska is not that good. I will give them that. Nebraska's not that good. But this team on the road this season has just had its woes. So just keep that in mind, gang, moving forward.
All right, Dream. So that's it, man. So great show today. A lot of talk. Yeah, a little bit of politics, a little bit of sports, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're looking forward to Friday's show, which is tomorrow, kicking off the weekend. Super Bowl weekend, Dream. And you know what? I was down in San Antonio, and I wanted so bad to drive out to Houston to see all the Super Bowl activities and stuff, because it goes on for like 2 weeks out there. It's a 3-hour drive.
I was going to tell you, how far. Texas is not like Connecticut.
Yeah, and you know what? It would have probably cost me $300 considering I rented like this massive Cadillac Escalade. It would have probably cost me a fortune to drive out there. So
and gas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but I wasn't trying to do that. And especially 3 hours there, 3 hours back. It basically ruins your whole weekend. So we didn't do that. So all right, man. So
I want to thank everybody that retweeted the show. We got Shy Picks in the house. Jackie's out there. Good to see you, baby girl. Terrence Mack, Jim Rome is a douche, is in the house as well. Sin City Maverick, Sugar Shane Whitehead. Shane. Glad to see you out there. Glad to see you supporting the show as regular. I'm not following you, but I am following you now. I don't know why I wasn't, but good to see you back in the house, brother, and hope all is well with you. Always good to see my boy Irvin, Andy Jones, Vegas Girl, 92661. My boy Sir Mata. Cell Check is in the house. Welcome to the party. Dr. Dizzle showing us some love. Benjamin Rowe, SD Grind, LA WizKid, and my man, Rick, Slick Rick Lopez is out there as well. That's our West Coast connection, always keeping me abreast of what's going on in the West Coast. Good morning to you, Rick, and hope all things going well with you. Gang, this is the biggest show in the world. I'm the Dream. Always remember who you're with. Make the most of each and every day, as we cannot get this time back.
Yes, sir, Dream. So, you know what, guys? I say it every day. Grab the world by the balls. Do whatever it is you got to do whatever it is you want to do in life and get that money. And just make sure you're not going to get fired if you're trying to go on strike and go protest.
Because you could collect unemployment, though.
Yeah, that's real politically correct.
That will cripple the U.S. economy.
Later.